Dr. Eliana Cortez had long felt that the cosmos whispered secrets only the bold could hear, and tonight, as the muted glow of ancient relics bathed her research chamber in a spectral light, those whispers coalesced into a message of both hope and warning. For years, she had dedicated her life to unraveling the mysteries of resonance energy, a force that pulsed beneath Earth's surface and echoed the creative and destructive legacies of civilizations long past. This energy, she murmured, tracing a glove finger along the smooth, engraved surface of a relic, is not merely a remnant of a bygone era but the heartbeat of our planet's destiny. A synthesized voice from her digital interface interjected, its tone measured and precise. Dr. Cortez, the latest energy readings indicate an unprecedented surge. The fluctuations align with historical patterns noted in the ancient texts. Her eyes, luminous with determination and curiosity, darted to the data cascading on the holographic display. It was a signal both tantalizing and terrifying, a signal that Earth's role in the galactic cycle was far more critical than anyone had dared to imagine. In that charged moment, the room seemed to vibrate with the weight of impending revelation, and Eliana's heart pounded with the urgency of a truth long concealed. If we decode these symbols and understand their language, she said softly, her voice resolute, we may be able to harness this energy not for conquest, but for renewal, a chance to break free from the cycle of unbridled ambition that has plagued civilizations across the galaxy. Her words, though quiet, carried the weight of a promise to not let humanity be defined solely by its capacity for destruction. At that moment, the door hissed open, and her trusted colleague, Adrian, stepped in with a stack of freshly digitized manuscripts clutched in his hand. Eliana, he began, his tone both urgent and awed, the ancient inscriptions you saw in the relics, they're not random. I've cross-referenced them with the historical archives of the Aurelian Sentinels. These symbols, these patterns of energy, they describe a blueprint, a guide to balancing creation and annihilation. He paused, allowing the gravity of his words to settle. Our ancestors, the Sentinels, understood that unchecked progress could lead to ruin. They abandoned Earth to shield themselves, and perhaps us, from repeating those catastrophic errors. Eliana's gaze hardened with determination as she absorbed Adrian's insights. Then it falls upon us to learn from their caution. We stand at a crossroads where the potential for renewal lies in our willingness to embrace restraint. This is not merely a scientific pursuit, it is a moral imperative. If we fail, the power we so desperately seek to understand may become the instrument of our undoing. Their conversation wove a tapestry of urgency and hope as the relic's soft luminescence underscored every word. The digital display flickered again, and the interface's voice returned, now laced with an undercurrent of alarm. Dr. Cortez, an encrypted transmission has been received from the Galactic Council. It warns that extremist factions among human elites and opportunistic alien warlords are mobilizing to seize the resonance energy. Such attempts could disrupt the cosmic balance and trigger a cascade of events leading to universal instability. A heavy silence fell between them as the implications of the message sank in. Adrian's brow furrowed, and he leaned forward, his voice low and intense. This is no longer an academic inquiry, it's a race against time. We must decode these relics and grasp the true nature of this energy before those who crave power without wisdom can manipulate it for their own ends. Eliana's eyes flashed with a fierce resolve as she replied, we have been entrusted with a secret older than the stars themselves. The relics call out not to instill fear, but to serve as a guide. They are a reminder that every creation carries the seed of its own destruction if not tempered by foresight and humility. We must be the ones to temper that seed, to ensure that humanity's future is written in the language of balance rather than chaos. The conversation between them deepened, merging scientific discourse with philosophical introspection. Every word was a declaration of intent, a vow to honor the legacy of those ancient sentinels who had once sculpted the fate of galaxies. Adrian, she continued, our work tonight is not just about energy readings or inscriptions. It is about rediscovering our place in the cosmic order, about proving that humanity's drive for progress can coexist with wisdom. We must be the stewards of a future where innovation does not come at the cost of annihilation. He nodded in solemn agreement, his eyes reflecting both the flickering light of the relics and the burning passion within. I have studied the historical accounts of civilizations that rose only to be consumed by their own ambition. We stand at a critical juncture where we have the chance to break that cycle. Our understanding of the resonance energy could be the key to unlocking a new era, a future where Earth is not a battleground for power but a crucible for balanced creation. Their dialogue, rich in both scientific inquiry and moral philosophy, resonated with the very essence of the cosmic energy they sought to understand. As they pored over data and translated ancient inscriptions, the relics themselves seemed to pulse with an almost sentient energy, as if they were aware of the critical decisions being made. This energy, Adrian remarked, his voice filled with wonder and caution, is like the breath of the cosmos, a rhythm that underlies all of existence. It has the power to create and to destroy, and it is our duty to ensure that it is not harnessed recklessly. Eliana's response was firm, her conviction unyielding. Humanity has always been a force of contradictions. Our innovations have lifted us to unimaginable heights, and yet our hubris has led us to the brink of disaster on more than one occasion. But tonight, we have a chance to redefine what it means to be human, to show that our drive can be tempered by wisdom, that our strength lies not in domination but in understanding. The conversation melded seamlessly with the steady hum of the resonance energy, a sound that seemed to bridge the past and the present. In that hallowed space of discovery and responsibility, every word, every calculation, and every heartbeat was a testament to a future waiting to be written. As the first hints of dawn touched the edges of the lab, casting soft shadows over the ancient relics, Eliana and Adrian shared a look that spoke volumes. It was a look of unwavering resolve, a silent pact that no matter the challenges ahead, they would strive to ensure that the legacy of the Sentinels would not be one of destruction but of renewal. We must decode their message fully, Adrian, Eliana said, her voice barely above a whisper yet carrying the weight of destiny. Only then can we safeguard our future and prove that humanity is capable of more than mere destruction. We can be the architects of a new era, a time when the power of the cosmos is harnessed with care, respect, and a deep understanding of its true nature. Adrian's eyes shone with a mixture of hope and determination as he replied, "Our journey is just beginning, Eliana. Tonight, we stand on the precipice of a discovery that could reshape not only our world but the entire galaxy. And together, we will rise to the challenge, for our future, and for the promise of a better, balanced existence." In that moment, as the lab hummed with the energy of both ancient relics and modern resolve, Dr. Eliana Cortez felt a surge of clarity. The path ahead was fraught with peril and uncertainty, but it was also illuminated by the possibility of renewal. Every calculation, every inscription, every whisper of the past spoke of a future that was yet to be written, a future where humanity would rise, not as harbingers of doom, but as beacons of hope and custodians of cosmic balance. And so, with hearts emboldened by the weight of their responsibility and minds sharpened by the pursuit of truth, they began their work anew, determined to unlock the secrets of the resonance energy and forge a destiny that honored both the legacy of the ancient Sentinels and the indomitable spirit of humanity. Dr. Eliana Cortez and Adrian stepped away from the confines of their high-tech research facility with a palpable urgency that belied the sterile corridors they traversed, their minds ablaze with the implications of the encrypted transmission they had just received. The weight of responsibility pressed upon them as they descended into the deeper levels of the underground complex, where the energy readings grew more erratic and the ancient relics hinted at secrets buried beneath layers of time. Their conversation flowed quietly amidst the hum of distant machinery and the echo of their footsteps along cold, metallic passages. "Eliana," Adrian said, his voice steady yet laced with concern, "the Council's warning is not to be taken lightly. Every fluctuation in the energy signature we recorded seems to point to a convergence of forces we barely understand. Eliana's eyes glimmered with determined resolve as she replied, I know, Adrian. The relics speak of an equilibrium, a balance between creation and destruction that our ancestors maintained. If we do not act now, that balance could be irrevocably disturbed by those who seek only to harness this power for their own gain. Their steps quickened as they reached a sealed door marked with ancient symbols, its surface alive with a faint, pulsing glow. Without hesitation, Eliana input the decryption code they had painstakingly assembled from scattered fragments of celestial inscriptions. The door slid open with a soft hiss, revealing a vast, dimly lit chamber where the air itself seemed charged with the pulse of the resonance energy. As they entered, the relics arranged around a central crystalline pedestal shone with an ethereal light, casting undulating patterns on the walls. The energy in the room resonated with the intensity of a heartbeat, each pulse a reminder of the precarious balance they were tasked to protect. Adrian's eyes widened in awe as he murmured, this must be the Nexus Point, the moderator that the legend spoke of. It's as if the very core of Earth's ancient power is concentrated here. Eliana stepped closer to the pedestal, her hand hovering just above its cool, crystalline surface. We must unlock its secrets, she declared, her voice firm and resolute, for if we can channel this energy properly, we can not only thwart those who would exploit it but also restore a balance that has been teetering on the brink of chaos. Their dialogue was suddenly interrupted by the soft rustle of fabric and the measured cadence of footsteps. From the shadows emerged a figure whose presence radiated a calm authority. It was Lysar, the emissary of the Aurelian Sentinels. I have been waiting for you, Lysar intoned, their voice mellifluous and steeped in ancient wisdom. I come bearing a message and an offer of guidance. The Sentinels once walked this path, but we withdrew to atone for our own past transgressions. It was our hope that, in time, a force of true understanding would rise to balance the destructive impulses of unchecked ambition. Adrian's tone was edged with skepticism as he asked, and why now? Why reveal yourself when we have only begun to grasp the magnitude of what we face? Lysar's gaze, deep and reflective as if mirroring centuries of sorrow and hope, met his question with measured calm. The cycle of imbalance has grown too perilous to ignore. The extremists, those driven by greed and the thirst for power, are already mobilizing. They intend to seize the resonance energy and reshape the cosmos without regard for the natural order. I have come to help you awaken the moderator, to guide you in harnessing this energy for renewal rather than its catastrophic potential. Eliana felt a surge of determination as she addressed Lysar directly. We have dedicated our lives to understanding this force. If there is a way to synchronize with its rhythm, to translate the language of these ancient inscriptions into a safeguard for the future, then teach us. We will do everything in our power to protect this balance. The emissary nodded solemnly, their eyes reflecting a glimmer of hope that had long been dormant. The moderator requires a precise sequence, a harmonious blending of frequencies and intentions. It is a ritual not of mere calculation but of spirit, a communion with the essence of the cosmos. You must attune your hearts and minds to the ancient cadence that once governed the Sentinel's creations, for only then can you unlock its full potential. As the three of them gathered around the pedestal, the ambient glow intensified, bathing their faces in an otherworldly light. Adrian's voice, filled with a mix of scientific wonder and cautious optimism, whispered, I can feel the energy shifting, aligning with our thoughts. It's as if the moderator is responding to our presence, to our commitment to preserve the equilibrium. Eliana closed her eyes, centering herself on the task at hand, and began to recite a sequence of words derived from the ancient texts, a litany of harmonics meant to awaken the dormant power. The sound of her voice resonated through the chamber, melding with the soft, rhythmic vibrations that emanated from the relics. Lysar's gentle guidance interwove with her incantation, their tone rising and falling like the ebb and flow of cosmic tides. Let the ancient pulse be our guide, Lysar intoned, and let the light of your resolve be the beacon that transforms chaos into harmony. As the ritual progressed, the moderator's glow swelled into a brilliant crescendo, its radiance intensifying until the entire chamber seemed to be filled with a luminous energy that defied description. The crystalline structures began to shift and realign, as if responding to an unseen conductor orchestrating a symphony of creation. Adrian, his eyes fixed on the unfolding spectacle, murmured, "It's working! The energy is converging, coalescing into a pattern that mirrors the very structure of life itself." Eliana, her voice now imbued with a newfound clarity, added, "We are not merely observers in this moment, we are active participants in a transformation that could redefine our future. This energy, if wielded with wisdom, can be the foundation for a renewal that transcends the cycles of destruction that have plagued civilizations for eons." The chamber vibrated with the harmonic resonance of their unified intentions, and in that fleeting moment, the boundaries between past and present blurred, the ancient wisdom of the Sentinels merging seamlessly with human ingenuity. The moderator stabilized into a steady, radiant glow that filled the space with a sense of profound calm and possibility. Lysar's voice softened as they addressed the group. "You have achieved a harmony that is both delicate and powerful, a testament to the potential within all who seek balance. Yet be warned, the extremists who covet this power are not idle, they will stop at nothing to seize it, and the true test of your resolve lies beyond this chamber." Adrian exchanged a determined glance with Eliana, his eyes alight with the fire of resolve. "Then our journey continues," he said, his tone resolute and unyielding, "because as long as there is a threat to this balance, we must stand as guardians against the tide of chaos." Eliana's reply was both quiet and firm. "We will protect this legacy with every ounce of our strength, for the sake of our planet and the future of all life that depends on this delicate equilibrium." In that charged moment, as the luminous energy of the moderator bathed them in its gentle radiance, the trio understood that their task was far from over. The ritual had only solidified their commitment, transforming raw, untamed energy into a force of renewal and hope. Every fiber of their being resonated with the promise of a future where the mistakes of the past could be overcome by the power of unity and understanding. As they slowly stepped away from the central pedestal, the chamber's energy gradually subsided to a steady hum, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming uncertainty, there lay within them the capacity to shape destiny. The echoes of their voices, their determination, and the silent communion with an ancient power forged an unbreakable bond between them, a bond that would be tested in the trials to come. With hearts fortified by the success of the ritual and minds brimming with resolve, they emerged from the depths of the chamber, ready to confront the encroaching forces of greed and ambition that threatened to shatter the fragile balance of the cosmos. Every step they took resonated with the promise of renewal, a promise that the legacy of the past would serve not as a harbinger of doom, but as a guiding light toward a future where creation and destruction danced in harmonious unity. Dr. Eliana Cortez strode forward with a measured determination as the weight of destiny pressed upon her shoulders, her mind a whirlwind of conflicting emotions as she addressed the gathered descenders whose eyes flickered with uncertainty and suppressed ambition. "We have seen the moderator's power transform raw chaos into a beacon of balance," she declared, her voice steady and resolute, "and it is this power that demands our utmost respect and vigilance." The extremist leader, Commander Curvin, who had earlier proclaimed his unyielding right to claim the moderator for his own designs, now faltered under the force of her conviction. "You speak of balance as if it were a gentle tide, yet our destiny is forged in the crucible of strength," he retorted, his tone tinged with both defiance and an emerging hint of doubt. Adrian interjected with quiet authority, "Strength without wisdom is a path to oblivion. Unchecked ambition sows the seeds of our own destruction, as history has repeatedly shown us." His words hung in the air, mingling with the pulsating cadence of the moderator's energy that seemed to underscore every syllable uttered. Lysar, the ancient emissary whose presence had lent a weight of timeless insight to the proceedings, added softly, "The moderator is a conduit of the cosmos, responding not to the clamor of brute force, but to the sincerity of hearts united in purpose. It will not yield to those who would distort its essence for selfish gain." A murmur rippled through the descenders as Commander Curvin's gaze shifted, his earlier certainty now clouded by the unmistakable aura of the moderator's influence. Are you suggesting that our vision, our ambition, is inherently flawed? He asked, his voice a mix of indignation and reluctant curiosity. Eliana's reply was measured and compassionate. I suggest that vision, when tempered by wisdom and guided by a commitment to balance, has the power to uplift rather than destroy. Our future, the legacy of our actions, must be built upon understanding rather than conquest. As the conversation intensified, the moderator's energy swirled around them in a silent symphony, its luminous glow casting a light that seemed to reveal the inner truths of every soul present. One of the younger extremists, his voice wavering with newfound uncertainty, stepped forward. I have witnessed the devastation wrought by unchecked ambition in my own travels. Perhaps there is merit in seeking a path that honors both strength and restraint. His admission, though timid, broke through the hardened exterior of those who had long clung to a singular vision of power, and in that instant, the moderator's radiance deepened, as if in acknowledgement of the shift taking place. Adrian's eyes met Eliana's, and together they projected an unwavering resolve that resonated with every listener. Our duty is not to usurp the power of creation, but to safeguard its balance so that future generations might inherit a cosmos where renewal prevails over ruin. Commander Curvin's defiant facade began to crack, and his voice, now quieter and tinged with introspection, emerged. Could it be that our relentless pursuit of dominion has blinded us to a higher calling? That perhaps, in our thirst for control, we have forsaken the very principles that sustain life itself? The question, though posed hesitantly, ignited a profound silence among the assembly, a silence that spoke volumes of internal conflict and the stirring of long-suppressed conscience. Lysar's response was gentle yet insistent. True power lies in the ability to recognize the limits of one's ambition and to channel strength into nurturing rather than destroying. The moderator does not belong to any one being or faction. It is the pulse of the cosmos, a living testament to the delicate interplay of creation and destruction. The moderator's glow pulsed in rhythm with his words, a visual echo of the cosmic balance that Eliana and her companions so fervently sought to preserve. In that charged moment, as the moderator's energy bathed them all in a unified radiance, the extremists found themselves at a crossroads where the promise of renewal clashed with the lure of unchecked authority. I have long believed that destiny is shaped solely by the might of those who dare to seize it, Curvin admitted slowly, his voice now a mere whisper, but perhaps there is wisdom in allowing the natural order of the cosmos to guide our actions. His admission, tentative as it was, rippled through the gathering, igniting a spark of introspection in even the most ardent of his followers. Eliana stepped forward once more, her tone imbued with both hope and a profound sense of responsibility. Today, we stand not as adversaries in a struggle for power, but as custodians of a future where every action is measured by its impact on the delicate equilibrium of existence. We must harness the moderator's energy with reverence and insight, transforming potential chaos into a legacy of renewal. The assembly absorbed her words, and a palpable shift began to take hold. Eyes that had once burned with unbridled ambition now reflected the shimmering light of possibility. Adrian, with a calm yet passionate fervor, declared, "Let this be the turning point, where ambition is no longer the harbinger of destruction but the catalyst for a rebirth founded on unity and balanced progress." The moderator's steady, harmonious cadence filled the space between their words, a reminder that every choice bore the weight of cosmic consequence. As the dialogue continued in a careful, deliberate exchange of ideas and convictions, even those who had clung to the notion of absolute power began to consider the merits of a path defined by collective responsibility and measured strength. In the midst of this profound deliberation, the moderator's energy reached a crescendo that seemed to pulse in tandem with the beating of every heart present, reinforcing the undeniable truth that true dominion lay not in subjugation, but in the harmonious interplay of creation and preservation. Curvin's earlier resistance gave way to a reflective pause, and he murmured, "Perhaps, in the pursuit of balance, we may find a purpose greater than mere conquest, a purpose that honors the legacy of all who have come before us." His words, tentative yet sincere, resonated with a chorus of murmurs that gradually replaced the clamor of dissent. In that singular moment of vulnerability, the assembly's collective resolve was redefined, and a fragile consensus began to form around the notion that power, when wielded with wisdom and compassion, could indeed serve as a force for universal renewal. Eliana's gaze swept over the gathered multitude, her eyes alight with the fervor of a visionary who had glimpsed the promise of a transformed future, and she proclaimed, "Let our actions today be the foundation upon which we build a cosmos defined not by the tyranny of unchecked ambition, but by the enduring light of balance and understanding." The moderator's glow deepened once more, a silent affirmation of the path they were forging together, and as each individual present embraced this emerging truth, the prospect of a future where every decision was tempered by foresight and unity seemed not only possible but inevitable. In that decisive act of reconciliation and newfound purpose, the moderator's energy pulsed like a heartbeat, a steady, unyielding rhythm that symbolized the perpetual dance between creation and renewal, a dance that now united them all in a common destiny of hope, balance, and the promise of a better tomorrow. Dr. Eliana Cortez felt the pulse of destiny in every fiber of her being as she stepped forward into the radiant heart of the moderator, its energy a brilliant tapestry of light and sound that bridged the ancient with the modern. "This is it," she declared, her voice echoing with unwavering conviction, "the moment where our choices reshape the fabric of existence." Around her, the gathered assembly of former dissenters and newfound allies watched in rapt silence, the volatile ambitions of the past melting away before the moderator's steady, harmonious cadence. Adrian stood beside her, his eyes reflecting both the brilliance of the cosmic energy and the weight of their shared journey. "We have reached the precipice," he said softly, "and now, with unity and wisdom, we must channel this power to heal the fractures of our world rather than deepen them." Lysar, the ancient emissary whose presence lent centuries of wisdom to their cause, added in a measured tone, "The moderator responds only to a heart tempered by humility and a mind open to the balance of creation and renewal. Let us show it that our resolve is not driven by conquest but by the promise of a brighter tomorrow." At that moment, Commander Curvin, once the embodiment of unchecked ambition, stepped forward with a contrite gaze, his earlier fervor subdued by the overwhelming evidence of change. "I have long pursued power for its own sake," he admitted, his voice a tremulous blend of regret and hope, "but now I see that true strength lies in surrendering to the natural order and allowing the moderator to guide us toward equilibrium." His words, sincere and transformative, resonated deeply with all present, stirring an undercurrent of reconciliation that rippled through the assembly like a healing tide. The moderator's luminescence swirled in response, its light intensifying into a brilliant display that seemed to cleanse the air of discord and fear. Eliana extended her hand toward the pulsating core, inviting every soul present to join her in a unified act of renewal. "Let our bond be the catalyst for a future defined not by the scars of past mistakes but by the promise of harmonious creation," she proclaimed, her voice rising in an impassioned call that transcended the boundaries of individual ambition. One by one, representatives from each faction, once divided by ambition and greed, stepped forward, their voices melding into a singular, resolute chorus. As their hands met in solidarity, the moderator's energy surged, enveloping them in a warm, radiant glow that spoke of rebirth and unity. "We are the stewards of this cosmic balance," Adrian declared, his tone imbued with the wisdom of hard-fought experience, "and it is our duty to nurture this light so that it may guide us, and all who follow, toward a destiny unmarred by the chaos of our former selves." Lysar's serene voice filled the space between them. The legacy of the ancient sentinels was born of both creation and destruction, yet it is in the synthesis of these forces that true beauty is found. Today, you have proven that even the most tumultuous energies can be harmonized when met with a unified spirit. The moderator's rhythmic cadence echoed the heartbeat of the cosmos as it stabilized, its once erratic pulses now a steady, soothing rhythm that promised continuity and renewal. Commander Curvin, his defiant spirit now transformed by the clarity of this shared purpose, spoke once more, "I see now that our relentless pursuit of dominion was a path to oblivion. In embracing this balance, we reclaim not only our honor but our future." His admission, laden with the humility of a man reborn, catalyzed an atmosphere of profound introspection and shared resolve. In that singular, transcendent moment, every voice, every hope, and every dream converged into a luminous symphony of purpose. Eliana closed her eyes and allowed herself to become one with the moderator's energy, feeling it intertwine with her own heartbeat. This power, this light, is not ours to command but to cherish, she murmured, her words a soft benediction that rippled through the collective consciousness of those gathered. We have forged a bond that transcends the divisions of our past, and in this union lies the strength to heal our world and to forge a future of enduring peace and balanced creation. The moderator pulsed in gentle affirmation, its glow a constant reminder of the delicate interplay between destruction and renewal that define the universe. As the assembly slowly began to disperse, each individual carried within them the transformative essence of that moment, a renewed understanding that true power is found not in domination but in the collective commitment to nurture and preserve the fragile equilibrium of existence. Adrian's quiet words lingered in the air, our journey does not end here, it has only just begun. Let this moment be the beacon that guides us through the darkness of uncertainty into a dawn of hope and unity. Lysar's parting message, delivered with the grace of ages, echoed in the hearts of all. Remember that every act of creation carries with it the seed of preservation. Guard this balance well, for it is the foundation upon which the future of countless worlds rests. In the wake of their unified act, the moderator's radiant light continued to pulse steadily, a living testament to the indomitable spirit of renewal that now bound them together. Dr. Cortez, her gaze fixed on the horizon of possibility, felt a deep and abiding peace settle over her, a serene conviction that the sacrifices of the past had not been in vain. Today, we have transcended the limitations of our former selves, she whispered, her voice imbued with both sorrow for what had been lost and hope for what could be rebuilt. In this convergence of light and life, we have discovered that the true measure of power lies in our ability to heal, to unite, and to dream of a future where the beauty of the cosmos is celebrated in every living breath. As the moderator's gentle radiance bathed them all in its luminous glow, the assembled souls departed with a profound sense of purpose, each step a silent vow to honor the delicate balance they had so courageously embraced. In that final act of unity, as the echoes of their collective resolve faded into the vast expanse of the cosmos, the promise of a new era was born, a promise that would guide the destiny of worlds, ensuring that the light of hope would forever outshine the shadows of unchecked ambition.